We talk a lot about forgiveness in our society and the importance of forgiveness, and I did mention in a previous video that forgiveness is really for yourself, not for the other person. And I explained that, so if you haven't watched that, then it's worth watching that. But what fascinates me and what I'm always interested in is how you do something, because we often talk about what we need to do, but very seldom do we talk about how does that actually look practically. When you say, if I make the decision I'm going to forgive someone, what does that mean? What do I do practically? And I had a little light bulb moment this morning, because I realized that forgiveness is just another way of saying letting go. And if you've watched my videos on letting go, then you'll know what I mean by that. You see, if somebody has wronged you in some way, and what's happened is it's created a blockage in your own energy system, and that's like putting a rock in a nice calm flowing stream. It creates a blockage and it creates turbulence. And so when you see that person again, for example, maybe it triggers you back into those same feelings and that same emotional charge. And then what we do is, because we don't like it, we push it down again. And we push it down by distracting ourselves, or just, distracting ourselves is really or suppressing it. We suppress it, and suppression can very quickly become repression, which is when we subconsciously suppress something. And now there's just more energy, there's more charge associated with that. So what does it mean practically to forgive? It means deal with your own energy blockage. Deal with your own the rocks in your stream. If somebody has wronged you, when you think about that person, or maybe when you see them or interact with them, notice what comes up. What's the feeling? And remember, let's make the distinction again between feelings and emotions. Feelings are just sensations in the body. And sometimes they're pleasant, sometimes they're uncomfortable, sometimes they're intense, but they're just feelings in the body. They're just sensations. There's no right or wrong about them. Emotion is when we take feelings and we add a story to it. We add language to it. Now it carries meaning. Now we start getting into the right and the wrong, and what this means and what this doesn't mean. So next time somebody who you feel has wronged you, next time that feeling is triggered, right, bring your attention to the feeling and let go of the story. Right? There's a whole story associated. Yeah, but they shouldn't have, and that's unforgivable, or whatever it is for you. There's a whole story associated with it. Let go of that. That's the story. And if I ask the other person their story, they'd have a completely different story. So stories are really just personal. Let go of the story and just bring your attention to the feeling, the sensation in the body. And be okay with feeling that. Allow yourself to just relax into the feeling of it. It's not about relaxing, it's about allowing yourself to feel what you need to feel. When you allow yourself to feel what you need to feel, you process those feelings, and that releases those energy blocks. And sometimes you might have to do it more than once. Sometimes if it's really intense, each time it comes up, you might have to feel it and sit in that discomfort of that feeling. But each time you do that, it's like a wave, it dissipates. And each wave that comes will be less intense until eventually there's nothing left, because you've got rid of all of those blockages. Now, when you see the person, or whatever it was that triggered you before, will not trigger you. The trigger is still there, but there's no charge, there's no explosive charge left in you. So makes no difference. Doesn't affect your energy. So why is it so important to forgive, and why is forgiveness about us first? Is because who's feeling it? If you've got all this charge that you're holding on to, each time it gets triggered, who's the one feeling it? Who's the one drinking the poison? It's you, not the other person. So it's so important to let that go. And that was my big light bulb moment today, is that forgiveness is just another way of saying letting go. That's how we forgive, is to deal and process the feelings that whatever that other person or people who we feel have wronged us triggers. That's what you got to process. And when you've processed that, that is when you have forgiven. So I hope that was helpful. I really would like to ask you, just if you haven't already, to please subscribe to my channel so that you get to know when I release new videos. It's really more because I want to reach more people, and I want to help more people. And so the more people who subscribe, then you get to know when I release new videos, as opposed to not knowing that. And it really encourages me to keep sharing honestly and openly when I know that it's helping people. So if you haven't, please subscribe to my channel, and I hope today's little insight that I had has been helpful for you too.